wanted to show you how I did this winter design. I'm gonna teach you step by step how to do these encapsulated nails. But the first thing that I did is that I applied the form and I closed it off a lot more than usual because in today's video I'm going to be doing coffin shaped nails. And I'm also going to be creating this very thin layer of crystal clear acrylic so it can serve me as a base so I can apply these glitters. I'm going to show you the colors that I'm going to be using today. First, I'm going to start with this really pretty chunky blue, and then I'm going to use a little bit of the white, and then I'm going to finish up with this darker glitter that is a darker blue. The colors that I'm going to be using for today's tutorial are going to be very simple. It's either blue or white. And on this first nail, I'm going to start by applying the darker glitter. And what I'm going to be doing is that I'm only going to apply it halfway because later on I'm going to be creating this type of ombre design, but I'm going to tell you about that in just a little bit. Then I'm going to go with the other colors. I'm going to apply a little bit of the lighter blue, and then I'm going to go with the white. And this is how it looks like. Now moving on, I can start applying a little bit of this white acrylic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be applying pretty liquid bits so I can create this ombre design. I feel like it's a lot easier to do it this way. And then I'm going to keep applying some more of this acrylic until the entire nail is well covered. Now, since we added a little bit of sparkles, it's necessary to encapsulate this nail, so I'm going to be using the same crystal clear acrylic, and I'm mostly going to apply it on the tip of the nail, but I'm also going to put a little bit on top of the white acrylic so everything can be connected and the nail can be stronger. And to finish up, of course, I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure on the sides. You guys know that I never miss this step. Now moving on to the second one, I'm going to start by applying the form, and I'm going to create the same thin layer of crystal clear acrylic because I'm going to be encapsulating this entire nail since I'm going to be adding a lot of the sparkles. When you guys do this step, make sure that the layer is as thin as possible because otherwise what can happen is that your nail can end up being a little bit chunky, so it's really hard to file it. And to create this design, I'm going to start with the same thing. I'm going to start with the darker blue, and this time I'm going to apply it on top of all of the nail. I'm going to make sure that everything is well covered. Now that I have this done, I'm also going to apply a little bit of the lighter blue. And what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to put it all over the nail. I'm going to keep moving it with my brush until it looks like the way I like it. And to finish up, I'm going to apply a little bit of the white sparkles. And of course, we still have to encapsulate this nail, so I'm going to start by applying the crystal clear acrylic up near the cuticle. And then using my brush, I'm going to keep pushing it downwards until the entire nail is well covered. Make sure that there's no spots left behind because otherwise, once you start filing it, the sparkles can fall off. And moving on to the third nail, here I'm also going to start by creating the base layer, but this time on this third one it's going to be a different design. It's going to be something a little bit unique. And this is how it looks like. Now moving on, I'm going to start using the white acrylic and I'm going to put it up near the cuticle. I'm going to use my brush to push it downwards. And what I'm actually going to do is that I'm going to create this straight line with my brush. I hope that you guys can see it well on the video, but since I want it to be as straight as possible, I'm also going to file it a little bit. You guys don't have to do this if you don't want to. This is just something extra. Now that I have this done, I'm going to start applying the glitter, and I'm also going to start with the darker blue. But this time, I'm only going to put it in this very small space. I'm also going to try to create the straight line. And then I'm going to keep applying the rest of the glitters. I'm going to put a little bit of the blue and a little bit of the white. Now I'm going to go back with the white acrylic, and what I'm going to do here is so easy. I'm basically going to create the tip of the nail, and I'm also going to try to make it as straight as possible. And this is how it looks like, but since we added a little bit of glitter, we still have to encapsulate this small space. So I'm going to be using the same crystal clear acrylic, and I'm also going to put a little bit on top of the white acrylic. I'm also going to be applying a little bit of pressure on the sides, and this is how it looks like. Now moving on to the last one, I'm also going to start by applying the form, and I'm going to close it off so I can create this coffin shape. And I'm also going to be creating this thin layer of crystal clear acrylic because on this last nail I'm going to be creating the same type of ombre design, but it's going to be on opposite ways. So I'm gonna start by applying the dark blue glitter, and I'm gonna put it up near the cuticle, and using my brush I'm gonna drag it until it gets kind of like in the middle of the nail. Now that I have this done, I'm gonna continue to apply the rest of the colors. I'm gonna put a little bit of the light blue, and then I'm gonna go on with the white one. Now the last thing that we have to do is apply the white acrylic, and here it's so easy. I'm gonna put it on the tip of the nail, and then I'm gonna use my brush. I'm gonna drag it upwards until both of the colors mix together. Remember that it's important to make kind of liquid base so it can be way easier for you. And then of course I still have to encapsulate this nail, so I'm gonna be applying the same crystal clear acrylic. And this is how these acrylic nails look like. Like you guys can tell, they don't look perfect, but that's why I always say that filing is one of the most important steps. When I file nails, I like to start by filing the sides, and I'm gonna try to follow the natural shape that the coffin has. This is how they look like. Like you guys can tell, they look a lot more defined now. And the last step to do is to file the surface. I like doing this using my e-file, but if you guys want to, you guys can use a regular one. And here what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be filing down these nails until they're pretty thin. And also if there's any bumps left behind, I'm going to make sure to file them. This is how these nails look like after being filed. Now everything is done and we're ready to apply some crystals. But before we do that, make sure that you clean off the nails because after filing there's always some dust left behind. And I'm also going to be doing my favorite part of creating this type of encapsulated nails, which is adding a little bit of top coat. I hope that you guys can see it well on the video, but when we do this, we can get to see everything that we encapsulated. And I think the combination of the glitters ended up looking really good. I think this second nail is my favorite because you can really get to see how all of the glitters mix. I'm gonna keep applying top coat on the rest of the nails, but I'm not gonna cure it just yet because I'm gonna be applying some more glitter. I'm actually gonna apply some stones, and this is gonna serve me as a glue so they can stick. I'm gonna start on the second nail, and here I'm gonna apply this larger one, and then I'm gonna use these smaller ones and I'm gonna put it all over the outline. And this is how it looks like. Now I'm gonna apply some larger stones up near the cuticle, and I'm also gonna apply another one on the bottom. And this is how this second nail ended up looking. Now I'm gonna apply just one on the first one, and then I'm gonna move on to the third nail. Here I'm gonna be applying a combination of larger stones and smaller ones. Like you guys can tell, I'm gonna put the biggest ones in the middle, and then I'm gonna use the small stones. And I'm gonna apply one more stone on the last nail. And this is what it looks like. Now I'm gonna cure everything for about 60 seconds. And this is how the final design ended up looking. Honestly, I love the combination between the white and the blue, especially for this season. I think that it looks really good. And if you guys can, make sure to mix glitters because it makes a really pretty effect. I know that this tutorial can seem a little bit more difficult, but if you follow step by step, I'm sure that you can do it as well. If you guys liked it, make sure to subscribe and like this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!